I was not ready to learn that AI can fake kidnappings now. Warning. Why does it look like potato quality? No, it says it's auto, 1080p.
Hello everyone. So I'm making this video because of the rampant rise of gore media, specifically animal sadism, popping up on Twitter and other social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok. I don't know if it's happening elsewhere, but these are the things I'm most aware of. And the Twitter thing, everybody and their mother is talking about it.
Okay, A, I'm not talking about it. I've never heard of this before, but B, I've heard that, like, to be a moderator for a big website, like, say Twitter or Facebook, apparently those poor people get, like, PTSD. Because, like, you know, sometimes, maybe even more than sometimes, and more than I would like to admit, like, they probably end up seeing some really fucked up shit. Like, gore, uh, child abuse, things like that.
Anybody who you're subscribed to, if you're not subscribed to me already, is talking about it. But there are some things that people aren't talking about that I really wish could be voiced, and I'm just gonna say it and hope that maybe they can look at my video and maybe spread awareness as well, and so people can understand just
I'm helping. I'm helping spread awareness. Let's go, team. We're doing it. We're fighting the good fight.
how deep this actually goes and understand a little bit of what's going on and why this is happening all of a sudden. Now, one thing immediately.
Also, off topic, I like how this big ass, grungy metal motherfucker just has Kirby's in his room. This dude is in balance with his life, as all things should be. He is dark, but also cute and cuddly.
That you need to understand is that, unfortunately, even very negative trends come and go, including things involving gore. Now, around the time I started my channel, I started talking about how things like CP and gore were popping up on TikTok, and that eventually faded out too. So eventually, this will pass too, but it's not just a trend. You see, some of the videos that are being shared are actually, quite literally, the worst zoo sadist videos on the internet. They come straight from the actual dark web. This is where that shit originated.
On the topic of zoo sadists, A, they're really fucked up. B, this is a little bit, well, I don't know if it's a weird segue. I feel like everything's a weird segue, just because how weird my brain slime works compared to normal people's. But, like, a while back, I know Nexpo talked about it. I don't know anybody else, but, like, kind of in the same realm of animal abuse, there was like all these channels on YouTube that were like animal rescue channels. Like, they'd find an animal trapped or whatever, and it just came out that, like, they were just putting these animals in these shitty situations. And, like, man, eating people is okay, but you gotta leave the animals alone.
In circles of people who abuse animals for sexual pleasure. Some of these videos include things like One Bitch Nine Pups, Dark Forest, or YLYM. Those videos are among some of the most detestable things that I have ever heard of in my life. I have made documentaries on these things. They are so awful. There are two videos where they extensively torture dogs. Another thing that's going around is cats on a dartboard, various cat videos. The cat blender thing started with a small niche of cat abusers who do this in, like, again, it's like a
Yeah, I can see that. You can only find so many animals in weird places before you run out of content. Yeah, because, like, it would be like every day or every few days, however much they uploaded. They would just, happen to find like a puppy under a pile of bricks with him walking, being filmed by his cameraman. Like, and like a lot of how they got caught was like, A, the suspicion of like, okay, how are you finding so many? B, why do you always have somebody filming you when you find them? And C, like, a lot of the positions they got in, like they couldn't have gotten in there themselves. Like, yeah, my first, I think it was maybe my second cat I found. I had found her, and she had gotten stuck in like a barbed wire fence. So me and a friend helped her out, and then we went and we took her home. But like under a pile of bricks, you know what I mean? Like trapped in like almost a little brick fort. Like the puppy can't move the bricks and then get in there and then like put the brick back and be like, ah shit, I don't know how to get out now.
circle. Imagine a dark web Reddit, more or less, where these subreddits gather for their own little niches, right? Well, some people hate monkeys. I talked about monkey hate. Some people hate fucking cats. I mean, dogs. I don't understand it either, but that is just how it is. And this person in particular wanted a lot of attention, and they literally started posting their videos everywhere, and because it involved a cat and because it was so shocking, it went viral. It went viral, and trolls got a hold of it next. And that is where I'm coming in. And the second part of this here is to
Nick Crowley's great too. I've watched a lot of his stuff.
explain that some of it, yes, is just edgy trolls being edgy, but the problem here that is being ignored is, like I said, the gravity of what is being shown. It also doesn't end at just animal abuse videos. They're also sending gore videos, including the suicides of Ronnie McNutt and others, and even worse content. I'm hearing of the trailer of Daisy's destruction and even worse content being sent to people. I have not seen this with my own eyes. I don't know. I have seen plenty of the animal abuse things popping up in the hidden replies.
So am I thinking this is easier than it actually would be in theory? Like, if people are posting stuff this bad, well, I don't know. I know a bit about computers. I worked in computer repairs before I got put on disability. And, like, I don't know if you could do it with just, like, a web browser. But, like, I know with games you can, like, ban people based off, like, you know, their hardware ID. Maybe you can't do that with a website, but like, and obviously you can't just stop somebody's IP because anyone, like, VIPs are so common and easy to use nowadays. So maybe it's not an easy thing to fix, but like at the same time, I kind of feel like, how does this turn into an epidemic? Like certainly these people must be getting banned, and surely there must be some kind of way to just make them from stop them from making a new account. It's also so easy to just make a new account because it doesn't need too much verification. Yeah, that's the problem. That's why I was thinking like you'd have to like be able to use a browser would have to be able to hardware ID ban somebody because like I said the IP is not going to do anything. Everyone has a VPN anymore. And it's also like super impossible to like moderate something that's free, right? Like for example, right, if you have a free to play game versus a game you have to pay for, like it's so much harder to get rid of bad apples in like League of Legends than it would be like, I don't even know. But like in a game you have to pay for. I can't think of a specific example. There's not really any MOBA that's like you pay to play.
On Twitter, though. For those of you who do not know what Daisy's Destruction is, a brief explanation of what it is among the most infamous CSAM videos to ever exist because of the worldwide news surrounding its creator, Peter Scully. Not only that, the subject matter is surrounded by internet mystery and
What is CSMA? I'm pretty confident it's gonna be super fucked up, but what the hell does that stand for? No idea. Hold on, I'll Google it. I'm gonna Google it on my browser that I don't show on stream. What is CSMA? See, that's what I thought. Wait, did he say CASM? Hold on. We need to go back like 2 seconds. Go back like right here.
It is among the most infamous CSAM videos to ever exist because of the...
Oh, I typed it in wrong. I did CSMA. Okay, CSAM. Child sexual abuse material. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we knew it was gonna be fucked up. I guess I didn't. I don't know. I'm just used to people on YouTube calling that kind of stuff cheese pizza. Cause like YouTube has like a really fucked up censoring policies, and like I don't even feel like they work because people always like if I watch true crime stuff, people don't say someone was murdered. They just like one person like to watch, Lazy Masquerade, just says they were slain, and suicide is self deletion, and most people call child porn CP or cheese pizza, and it's just mm, I don't know. I feel like if you wanted to like make videos, I really don't hear cheese pizza, mostly just CA or CSA or CP. Yeah, not very many people actually say pizza, but I've heard it once or twice. And like, okay, if you want to make it, if you want to set those videos to be like not for minors or whatever, right? Where you have to be like signed in and age verified or whatever, I would be fine with that. But I think making it such a pain in the ass to cover topics like this is important because I feel like a lot of problems on like on the websites that are typically considered terminally online places like Twitter or Reddit or whatever. I feel like a lot of the ne'er-do-wells or whatever you want to call it that go on there usually get called out by, content creators. And that's usually when people can move to a solution. Because I highly doubt, like, I mean, I don't know. I don't watch mainstream news or anything. Like, I wouldn't think they're going to talk about this. But it's clearly a problem. And I think it's also clearly a problem that could have negative impacts on people because what I don't know for sure, but what Twitter probably says you have to be at least 13 or something. Like 13-year-olds are still kids. Hell, half the time I say 21-year-olds are still just 18-year-olds who have 3 more years of experience to convince themselves they know what the fuck they're doing. Like, you know what I mean?
The new worldwide news surrounding its creator, Peter Scully. Not only that, the subject matter is surrounded by internet mystery and misconception, but in reality, this is what the video is. You can research this yourself by Googling. Yours is the same as mine. In short, Peter Scully directs his masked girlfriend to abuse an infant in the ways of sexual bondage, and that is fucking horrible. That is it is unbelievably vile, and anybody who has to lay their eyes on that.
This is gonna be one hell of a here. This is gonna be one hell of a segue. Sorry, Melody's putting a dish away behind me. But like, have any of you heard about all the fucked up shit Ezra Miller's done? And he's just fucking. He's probably making bank off of the. He just gets to make bank off the Flash film. I was trying to think who it was. I don't know who that is. I only know who it is because like some of the YouTubers I like to watch talked about him. He's just an actor who's a big piece of shit and seems to get away with it. I guess. I mean that's all that's the only reason I know his name. Because he seems like a giant piece of shit. But unfortunately we kinda live in a world where like if you have enough money, you know, all the laws are just rules for thee and not for me. I can't remember the names, but like people are so fucked up and like sometimes they're not even safe with their own parents. I, I remember this one true crime case in this lady like got with this dude who was like a hardcore pedophile and she like helped him abuse her infant. Like what the fuck is wrong with people?
Is either cursed or fucking scarred for life. The fact that I'm hearing that is being shared, I believe it, because I have been trying to warn people, including the feds, by the way, of that specific video being shared on YouTube and even traded via WhatsApp, and the only thing blocking it was the language barrier of Spanish, of all things. That's what had those videos going undetected on YouTube for over a year. Now, I'm very frustrated because I've been trying to get a lot of people's attention, and I'm not trying to call anybody out specifically, but at this point, I feel very ostracized as the black sheep. I don't mean to be a crybaby here, because I know I've had a lot of hard times and a lot of drama follow me, and of course, my content isn't for everybody. But at the end of the day, I'm really trying to voice what's going on, and because I happen to cover the worst shit in the world, I happen to have a lot of information on the worst shit in the world. And I really wish it could be heard, because all in all, my videos are to educate people on these topics as a true crime subject, whether you want to see it that way or not. No, I'm not saying they're educational for school. What I'm trying to say, again, I'm going to explain that. They educate people in a manner of a true crime aspect. I turn a horrible gore video into something that can be rationalized and explained. And yes, sometimes we analyze these. But this is a whole nother fucking ball game. You may or may not know this. A lot of people push this narrative that I watch this content to or review it. I actually do not touch anything that involves fucking kids or animals or anything like that, because one, if it's illegal, that's no bueno. Two, I have a moral compass, and I have a psyche that is fragile enough. I don't need to expose myself to that either. So all in all, there are a few factors at play here that, again, I think could just be summarized real quick. And then I want to talk about something else that happened to me personally recently that I feel is somewhat connected to just the laxness and how gore is being pushed everywhere right now. So I do believe that there is some trolling in effect here. Obviously, no one can deny that. People are sick, and yes, they will even share illegal or just grossly immoral, like, animal content, regardless, because they know that they can get away.
Okay, hold on. Crazy idea here. All right, hear me out on this. What if instead of training AI on countless uncredited artists to make art and draw, or make art and write, right? What if we train them to just yeet it, delete it, don't want to see it, this fucked up content? That feels like a better use for AI.
Way with it via like semi-anonymity on the internet. Another factor is that, yes, this is...
Oh, we're already doing that? Will somebody tell the AI to do it better? It misfires all the time. Well, spend less time teaching it to still artist's job and make it do better at this job. Reallocate resources or whatever.
Partially to troll people of LGBTQ, because this is part of Operation Pride.
Have I heard of optimizers? I have not.
Fall too. Evidence to support the LGBTQ harassment is a lot of trans flags and insults and slurs being thrown into captions for these videos. And then here's the real big picture that I've been trying to say for a long time.
Oh boy. We love pieces of shit, don't we? I think the sad part is they probably got away with this, I'm assuming.
And I swear to you, everything falls on deaf ears. This is the tip of the iceberg.
That's what I just said.
On a lot of shit that's been going on for a very long time. And people only want to talk about the goofy that gets you views. There's a reason I cover the worst of the worst, is because these stories and these things need to be brought to light, and these things need to be exposed, they need to be talked about. There's a lot of victims in the world of various different crimes, various different things, and I believe that they do want their stories told. Again, my call to action is please share this video, please tag creators in it. I don't care if it's to a
like, I don't know, stuff like this is really scary. Before I moved to where I was living when I had shitty internet and couldn't stream, it was like a really small town, right? I mean, it was called a city, but like, it didn't feel like a city. And my littlest sister was in like, I can't remember, Cheer, I think it was Cheer. And like, there started to be reports of like known sex traffickers just hanging out. Like, this shit can happen to anywhere, to anyone. Luckily, you know, everyone kind of figured out what was going on and helped protect the young ladies. I think my mom even gave all of them their own pepper spray. But like, it was crazy. All right, there was an article that came out recently describing how the military was trying to implement weaponized AI targeting systems. It was immediately claimed that it was misreported, but they described optimizer behavior that's already well understood. And Raven says, end of part of the controversy around Ezra Miller is that they ID as NB and they had an underage person that they were traveling with. Yes, that's one of the biggest things I remember. Basically, an optimizer is trying to achieve a goal, and that goal is more important than anything. Yes, they're building Skynet. That's fucked up. So when the optimizer was told to maximize kill count, the operator was killed immediately? Am I gonna get canceled if I kind of laugh at that? Silly solid folk. Tampering with things that should not be tampered with. And like, one thing I was gonna say and then I got distracted is like, all these fucked up people nowadays are trying to lump themselves into the LGBTQIA plus crowd, and I highly doubt I'm the only one that wants nothing to do with it. Zoophiles, zoo sadists, minor attracted people who like to call themselves maps and say they're part of the fucking LGBTQIA plus crowd. When they removed them as a potential target, the AI proceeded to attack the communication tower so the stop order couldn't be delivered. Oh no. How did they stop it? Did they just blow it up? And there's no fix for this? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, this was simulated. Woo. Okay, now it's funny. I can laugh at it now. Nobody was actually hurt. They didn't. It's still out there now. You go to therapy and they're like, it's okay. Optimizer driving a tank can't hurt you, and it's just right outside the window. That miner's family name was like, oh, family was like, ah, hell nah, and kind of nothing came of it. And a lot of the pushback was like, oh, you're only going after them because they're NB. Yeah. There's a lot of other just like unhinged behavior. Like, there was like this video of him just like choking out this lady in like, I don't know, looked like a Walmart or something. He was like, oh, we were just playing or whatever. And it's like, looking a little sussy.
No, annoying to them.
If you rigidly define an AI's goals such that they hit a point where they can no longer achieve the goal, they will begin to hallucinate victory. Or conversely, they were letting it go because they are NB. Yeah. I don't know. It's hard, I guess, because like we kind of live in the we live in a weird age, right? Like I was talking about this with Forgotten Fucker one time cuz like we're pretty deep in the sauce, right? I'm male to female trans pansexual. Like even with us so deep in the gay sauce, we kind of like we still have to like train ourselves to kind of like, you know, use the correct vocabulary that helps everyone feel comfortable. And like we got talking about it when I was like, I think it's just because we lived in like the world is changing a lot. Like trans acceptance when I was a teenager compared to now is a lot better, but at the same time, there's also still so much hate. And so it's a weird world, like, because, you're not allowed to hate on the gays. So a lot of people are kind of just hijacking that. And so, like, all the not gay people are like, oh, well, we probably shouldn't criticize that too much or we're going to get canceled or whatever. So, like, maybe we just need a bunch of gays. We need a bunch of gays to make edutainment about the fucked up people. Because then we could criticize them. right? Optimizers see the world around them as fundamentally uncertain and will attempt to eliminate it from the list of variables, or even, and yeah, just general shit-healery, as you described, and it seems like, hey, why is this person allowed to act this way? Full stop. Rich and famous. Rich and famous, unfortunately. Ponyboy, turning off their sensors that deliver the news that they didn't achieve their goals and then assuming they did, well, is an acceptable solution to an optimizer's way of thinking. Fuck. Optimizers are just lazy people. But they have all the computing power of a computer. Like Bill Gates said, if you want a job done efficiently, get the laziest person you know to do it.
These points need to be looked at. These things need to be discussed. And it goes even deeper than this in the long run. Because when I say it's the tip of the iceberg, I mean, when you're uncovering animal abuse in these circles and these people that are involved in it, you're quite literally talking about snuff rings, but related to animals. Because it's very loosely and shittily.
Wait, are you telling me there's like studies that saying solid folk sleeping and dreaming stops them from like murdering people or something? Well, I mean, solid folk still murder people all the time, but like helps in that category or something?
Prosecuted in the United States, and even worse so elsewhere in the world. Where one side of the dark spectrum features victimization of children, another features the victimization of animals, and sometimes these things intertwine as well. And a lot of these people just get away with it, and even worse so, people get away with spreading the material, and only a few things are being talked about, and I don't know why. Now, personally, something that happened to me the other night, I was sitting down playing Fortnite with my eldest and my wife. Sometimes we do that to chill, whatever. And I started receiving text messages from what I believe to be a wrong number. Now, this happens a lot if you have a shitty, like, track.
Raven says, as I once had to explain about a friend of my, I'm assuming that's brother-in-law, people don't like you because you're heckin' unpleasant. Or people like you because you are heckin' unpleasant, not because of your sexuality or gender identity. Ponyboy, dreams help us reduce the attenuation of our pattern recognition. That's a big word. What does that mean? Attenuation? I know solid folk brains are like really good at pattern recognition. So does it just like reset the RAM in your guys' brain? And let you start fresh with new patterns in the morning or night, I guess.
Phone service,
whenever you wake up.
I do. I don't have a contract phone because these numbers are recycled, and I mean, people miss numbers all the time. But there's also scams. Now, what was sent to me was various things in Spanish. Now, I do have the translation for this, but that didn't bother.
I don't know what caused this change, but I don't really get scam calls anymore. I just keep getting text messages, which are slightly less obnoxious and slightly more laughable. But like, can it just stop, please? Raven says, shitty people should be called out for shitty behavior without regard of any cultural/social markers. True.
What bothered me next is the next 3 files that were sent. One was a dead body. I presume the man was shot. And then the second one was a decapitated man who was hit from the back with a machete a lot. And then the last file was some various threats in Spanish with people loading guns. And I freaked the fuck out and contacted a very good friend of mine who also works at the UN. They do cybersecurity and a lot of things. Very seasoned person. Very good for advice. And they reassured me that this was a scam. A scam. A scam that sent me gore and death threats. Now, it turns out that it wasn't directed to me. It was directed towards some guy who allegedly didn't, he defrauded people at a brothel. And this is what happens. And if he didn't respond within the hour, allegedly, there was people close to the person's location, and he would be next. This person even called my phone. As it turns out, these scams go really deep, and they're even using AI to mimic children's voices and feign kidnappings. This has happened. This happened in April in Arizona to a woman. They took an AI program and mimicked her daughter's voice and made it sound like she got kidnapped.
Bro, hello? What the fuck? I was concerned about I've been concerned about AI putting Ponyboy out of business. I didn't know they was gonna use an AI to kidnap Smoojims and get me to send them fucking toe pictures. Who invented this? Hello? Solid folks, can you hear me? You have gone too far. I'm going back to the forest. Good day, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. I am leaving.
This also happened to my friend too, but a different scenario that I didn't inquire about, to be honest, but they referred me to the article as well. The reason I'm bringing this up is because it's very alarming to me that I was sent that, and I don't think it was on purpose. It was a coincidence that it was me, and in a way, I mean, can you imagine if maybe your grandma got that, or maybe you have young siblings or kids yourself with cell phones who get that because you have a service like Metro PCS or something?
Okay, a little bit of a lighter note on the whole scam thing. So before we moved, I was living with me and Smudgems were living with my great-grandparents. They raised me just as much, if not more, than anyone else. And we didn't really know it at the time. This was a while ago. But, like, my grandpa's got pretty bad Alzheimer's at this point. So he was, he was starting to show signs back then. And this one morning, I caught him at his computer, and I didn't think too much about it. And then he printed out this janky, fake-ass looking receipt for computer repair work. I don't, anyone who knows me knows that I do not get mad very easy. But I was beyond tilted. I was so mad. I I called my mom, who was at work, and she got a hold, and well, I mean, Grandma was in the house at the time. So she helped me get Grandma to take Grandpa down to the bank and reverse the charge. And I got to work on the computer. And this fucking idiot calls me and was like, "Oh, what happened to the money?" I can't remember what they said. But I was like, "Fuck you, you scammer." He was like, "You crazy bitch." I'm like, "Fuck you, you're never talking to me or my grandpa again, you son of a bitch." And he's like, "Well, what about the money?" He went to the bank and reversed it like a normal person. And it was a scam where they claimed to be from Microsoft. So I changed the Wi-Fi. I changed the Wi-Fi name to Microsoft will never call you, and the password was never ever. Like I was, my buns were buttered for years. That wasn't a very good retelling of the story, but yeah. There is no money, pal. The Big Lebowski. Basically, I guess the summary would be Grandpa got scammed. I caught it relatively quickly. Told the scammer he was never talking to my grandpa and he was a son of a bitch. And then he called me a crazy bitch and asked how he was going to get the money back. And I was like, "You go to the bank, numbnuts. You go to the bank and explain what happened."
Thing, you know what I mean? That would be really fucking bad, wouldn't it? And yes, I looked into it. These scams are real, and they do this to try to ransom money. Basically, they'd say, "Oh, well, too bad," because you could say, "Oh, I'm the wrong guy," and they'd be like, "Oh, well, too bad, you better have the money or you're next." And then, you PayPal them or Venmo or however the fuck it works, and you're scammed. The fact that this is a regular occurrence throughout social media, and even coming to my fucking phone at this point, is deeply disturbing, and I'm the Gore guy. And I'm telling you this from a point of awareness that this needs to be talked about. Please share this video. Please like the video. Do whatever you can to support this. I'm not doing this with selfish intent.
Oh, I got distracted. I was gonna finish my story and go back to this comment, and then I totally spaced it because of my ADHD. I'm so sorry, Milady Raven. Raven says, "And those people need to learn to own their shitty behavior without making their cultural social markers a distraction." Yeah, I hate that shit.
Or for clout, I have tried to offer this information even to news media outlets, even telling them, "You do not have to credit me. Please use this information anonymously." I have given everything I could to the federal authorities and cyber tip line that I could. I already know that animal abuse isn't prosecuted for shit, but if people were pushing CP and other things...
I kind of feel like that's a huge mistake. Like, when are we going to start taking animal abuse seriously? Like, how many times do we have to have like some kind of crazy mass shooting? And then after it, we find out the dude was like, yes, it was a little weird. He started drowning puppies in rain buckets at age 4, and at age 13, he had this weird Nazi manifesto as his desktop background. Who could have fucking saw this coming? We are shocked. We are fucking shocked.
I feel that other content creators should warn others about this too, especially people with the millions plus subscriber count. I have a niche. I'm not getting to everybody here, and I definitely feel like a fucking black sheep here. So any help on that is appreciated. If you want to support me directly, as any ads you see here are not from me. I am not monetized by YouTube. Please head down in the description below. I'm actually going through quite a tough time financially right now. It would be much appreciated if you check out my premium pages. That way you get something in return, as well as helping me out too, as I'm trying to rebuild my income. Again, thank you for watching, and if any of you content creators are out there watching this, please swallow your fucking pride. I'm not digging for clout. I'm trying to actually fucking voice what I know. And
Aha, you fool. I have no pride. I will share this with my audience. My audience is here to say, what the fuck with me. That's all the help we can give.
I feel needs to be said about this. It's bigger than just bad people sharing bad things. Very innocent people everywhere are being exposed to very terrible things, and they need to be warned about it because it hasn't reached everyone yet. Anyways, see ya.